So, you're moving to the United States. That is a huge, life-changing adventure. And while it's incredibly exciting, let's be real, the logistics can feel like a lot. That's exactly why we're here, to give you a super clear, straightforward roadmap to make this move as smooth as possible.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a question. Whether you're moving your whole life from Europe or just a few precious boxes from Asia, what do you think is the biggest bottleneck? What's the number one thing that gums up the works? Is it, a slow ship, bad weather, a backup at the port?
Believe it or not, the answer is usually just a single piece of paper, or more accurately, the wrong piece of paper. See, when you're moving to the US, you've got to understand that the paperwork isn't just part of the process. It pretty much is the process. If you nail this part, everything else just kind of falls into line.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to talk about why a US move is unique. Then we'll dive deep into mastering your paperwork. We'll look at your shipping options, sea, air, or maybe both. Then we'll walk through US customs, and maybe most importantly, we'll cover how to sidestep those simple mistakes that cause the biggest headaches.
First things first, why is moving to the US so different? Well, unlike a lot of other places, US Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, is laser-focused on two big things: making sure your paperwork is perfectly consistent and protecting the country from any agricultural pests. That means they are very, very methodical, and they expect you to be too.
And this right here is the golden rule. Seriously, you can pay a fortune for the fastest shipping on the planet, but if your documents aren't 100% correct when they land, your stuff is just going to sit there. Meanwhile, a slower but perfectly documented shipment will sail right through customs and get delivered.
Which brings us right to the most important thing you can do to prepare: mastering the paperwork. Now, don't think of this as a chore. Think of it as your secret weapon. This is where you actually take control of the whole move.
So what does customs really need to see? It's pretty logical when you break it down. Step 1, who are you? That's your passport and visa, proof of your identity and your right to be here. Step 2, are you really moving? Showing them you've ended a lease back home and have a new address in the US proves it. And step 3, what's in the boxes? That's your inventory, and it proves you're bringing personal stuff, not things you're planning to sell.
And that leads to this really important term you need to know: used personal effects. This is the official name for your stuff. It's the magic phrase that tells customs, hey, these are just my normal household things, I've owned them, I've used them, and I'm not trying to start a business. Getting this right is how your shipment comes into the US completely duty-free.
Okay, paperwork is getting sorted. Now, how do we actually get your belongings across the ocean? And this isn't just about picking a boat or a plane. It's a real strategic choice that balances how much you want to spend, how fast you need things, and what you'll need the second you arrive.
And here are your two main options. Think of sea freight as the workhorse. It's way cheaper, and it's perfect for the big stuff: your furniture, your library of books, all the things you can live without for a few weeks. Air freight, on the other hand, is the sprinter. It's super fast, but it costs a lot more. You save this for the absolute essentials you need right when you land.
And that's why the smartest strategy for a lot of people is to use both. You can send a small shipment by air with essentials, some clothes, your work computer, your kid's favorite teddy bear, so you're comfortable right away. Meanwhile, the rest of your house is chugging along on a boat, saving you a ton of money. It's the best of both worlds, really. All right, let's talk about the part that can make people a little nervous: US Customs. But honestly, you don't need to be. If your paperwork is in good shape, this isn't some scary, mysterious black box. It's just a predictable, step-by-step process. So here's how it works. Your shipment arrives at the port. Your moving agent submits that beautiful package of documents we talked about. A customs officer then takes a look and decides either to release it on the spot or flag it for a closer look. Once it gets the green light, it's officially released, and only then can the final delivery to your new home be scheduled. Now, I want to stop here for a second because this is so incredibly important. Out of all those documents, your inventory is what we call the backbone of the whole file. It is the one thing a customs officer looks at to understand everything about your move in a single glance. So what makes an inventory a strong backbone? Specificity. Don't just write kitchen items, write use pots, pans, and cutlery. Be organized. Group things by what room they came from, or even better, by the number on the box. And of course, be accurate. Your goal is simple: make that customs officer's job easy. A clear, professional list is your fastest ticket to getting released without a hassle. Okay, last section. Let's talk about the simple, totally avoidable mistakes that cause the absolute biggest delays. If you just know what these are ahead of time, you are going to be way ahead of the game. And mistake number 1 should be, no surprise at this point, a vague inventory. Like we just said, if an officer looks at your list and has to guess what's in the boxes, you're practically asking for them to flag your shipment for a full, time-consuming physical inspection.
Number 2, trying to sneak in restricted items. We're talking about things like food, plants, seeds, or even garden tools that still have dirt on them. The U.S. is unbelievably strict about preventing agricultural pests from entering the country. If they find this stuff and you haven't declared it, you can expect major delays.
Mistake number 3, changing your delivery address at the last minute. That U.S. address you provided is a core part of the official customs file. If you try to change it after your shipment is already on its way or has arrived, it can cause a massive headache of revised paperwork and logistical nightmares.
And finally, mistake number 4 is just not planning for an inspection. Look, inspections happen. They are totally routine, and it doesn't mean you did anything wrong, but they do add time. If you just build a little buffer into your schedule, say a week or 2, it will save you a world of stress if it happens.
So, the crucial takeaway here is this. All of these big, costly mistakes are 100% avoidable. They have nothing to do with bad luck. They have everything to do with good, thorough planning right from the start.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. Your new life in the U.S. is right there waiting for you. So the real question is, now that you have the right playbook, is your move ready for it?